All right, let's talk about this Quadjumper for a second here, because initially I was like, oh, it's the Quadjumper from The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Mm-mm.
It isn't. At first I thought it was a straight up reuse of the animation model, and that may be partially true. And I do say that it's a partial reuse because the more I looked at it and the more I compared it to The Force Awakens, there are a couple of significant differences. Enough actually that I would suggest that this is either a big continuity error or it's a new ship. It's still a Quadjumper, but it's not the same model that we saw.
Well, so there's 40 years at this point between those
Absolutely.
two ships, and Melshi says it's an old ship.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So
you don't get a sense of how old it is when it's sitting in the desert on Jakku. It's just like,
right.
Hey, we'll just take that Quadjumper. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Predecessor to it.
Quite possibly.
Easily 40 years is, how many TIE fighter variants do we get in just 3 years of the original trilogy?
Well, the Quadjumper as it appears in The Force Awakens is designated as the TUG-B13. So it's a tug. Canonically speaking, the TUG-B13 has a crew of 1 with room for 2 passengers. It has 3 seats and no more. And although there were several Quadjumpers in the Citizens' fleet at the Battle of Exegol, there's no mention of any weapon systems, shields, or hyperdrive. So presumably, like every ship in Star Wars, it's basically a Honda Civic and is endlessly modifiable. So let's get into those differences I was talking about. This ship has been scaled way, way, way down, and it's really apparent when you see the 2 images that are sized kind of similarly, like the 2 images on the right. Instead of having a ladder accessed hatch, which we see on the one from The Force Awakens, we now have a humanoid sized door and a boarding ramp, which actually has the 2 lower engines being offset further apart. I mean, but if you look at the image with Rey and Finn, like that thing's like 2/3 of the Falcon size.
Yeah.
Not so in Andor. But you really get a sense of it. These 2 photos, by the way, they come from the canon book, The Force Awakens, incredible cross sections, and there it is. That is the Quadjumper to scale with Unkar Plutt and Zuvio. Poor Zuvio. So yeah, they've really, really scaled that down.